Hello, everyone. It's your host, your friend, your boy.
It is not. Okay. Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to another Empire of Aeternia video. We have.
Hello, Jet Black, aka nickabenson. Feel free to check out the nickabenson channel. Got a live stream coming up around midnight.
Please do check them out. I was trying to figure out the best place to put this, but I guess this is it.
Put the link.
Yeah. Well, it's going
He's
here.
precariously balancing a lamp on a couch.
Oh, look how I did it.
All you need is a light breeze, and that shit is gone.
Yep.
An indoors light breeze.
An indoors light breeze. Impossible.
We will see. Somebody walks back into the room.
Bam. Hey.
Hey.
So yeah, we are. Ooh, I want to set up
The live chat.
the live chats, and I also want to set up tags.
Go to your live dashboard.
I'll never do a live dashboard. Don't you? I need
Wish
to.
your girlfriend was hot like me.
I need to sign up.
Wish. In trying to get these tags squared away. Back in my day, our tags were only circular.
Back in my day, I didn't have tags. No. Hey, can you tell me how to like sign out of this?
Sign or what? Are you on Pornhub?
Yes. Someone Google. And I'm trying to sign out of the little like thing on the right, because if I don't, it won't let me get like sign on to other YouTube stuff, because it'll be like, oh, you
So click it
you
with your mouse.
Right.
Click. What are you doing?
That's what it does.
Click the face. Click the actual thing.
Oh.
Oh shit! Wow, you're clicking next to it. I didn't know what your
I
goal
was really confused. I was like, it's next to the thing. It must
It
be
must
the
be
thing.
the thing. Aiden, why aren't I?
Why are you clicking?
Why
me?
aren't I clicking?
What's the problem?
Aiden gotta sign out.
Now we gotta sign in.
back in with a different account.
It's so crazy.
I was trying to show Aiden cartoon booty videos, and your boy's like, "We're not gonna make it on time. You didn't even."
I wanted to
sign it.
stream for at least an hour.
You didn't sign in and
And
sign out.
yes, I wanted to stream for at least an hour so that I could give you guys like a nice video. And Jet's over here trying to show people booty
Cartoon
clicking
booty videos. Type it on
Disgusting.
YouTube. Shake it, bake it, booty quake it, roll it
Don't.
around, don't fake it. That's a long title.
Yes.
Type in symbiotic titan. No one's gonna know how to say that. Cartoon Network twerk. That's the easiest.
Look that up.
Easiest way to find it. It's ridiculous. It's an unedited clip from a cartoon where a girl twerks. It's really crazy.
It really is. And what Jet doesn't realize is that that girl has been inside him all along.
Been inside me.
Yeah.
This cartoon girl
Has been inside you all along.
inside my body.
Yep.
Yo, Nani, welcome to the stream. It's gonna have you.
Hey,
Nani
Nani.
sees Winslow. He smashes that like button.
Thank you.
That's Nani's philosophy.
Nani, look at this. Look at just for you. Hello.
Nani sees you on screen,
Hello.
goes, "Where's Winslow?" Smash that like button.
Hey, Nani, it's me. It's me, Emperor AP.
Bars. Congratulations, Winslow, for that bar.
Thank you.
You got one viewer, one like. That's a 100% like ratio. Can
We
we
have
keep that up? Can we keep up that
100%
steam?
success.
Does your stream have the stamina?
Yes.
Also, click on the one that's actually your current stream. Nani, so what are you guys doing?
We
I
are
don't know, because
talking
he didn't
about
tell me the title. It's Micronations and People. We're talking about the people,
and Micronations.
not in that order, based
Right.
on the title.
Right.
So what people are we talking about?
So one thing, I just essentially want to talk about a lot of stuff that I've noticed as Micronations develop. Hey,
What is it, what?
He's
doing a stream, and this is Max. Call down.
That was a call out. I'm not also streaming. My phone's just up.
Well, I was just gonna ask you, also, the reason I keep mentioning streaming on Twitch is if you stream on both, the thing I was talking about, first off, it's free. Second off, with Twitch, you can start earning money really early as compared to YouTube. You have to have like a certain amount of subscribers, yada yada.
I'm so close. I'm so, like, you need
Who's Joe?
1,000 plus subscribers
This is
and
Max.
4,000 watch time hours.
I don't know who
I'm
Joe
like
and
at
Matt are.
3,900.
Almost none of that.
different people.
close.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you need almost
This
none
is
of that
Matt.
for Twitch.
Plus, I've already made
Not
YouTube money
it's Matt.
before they changed
No,
the
it's Matt.
monetization
It's
policies.
Matt.
So I'm like,
Hey, X.
I know I
With-
can
with-
do it.
It's like a T,
So,
but like that.
video
Yeah,
and
it's like a T,
It's really
but
easy.
like that.
The one website, you go
You got
to
it.
like the one place and you change both
You got
like
it.
the titles and tags on both YouTube and Twitch at one
also,
time.
what's a
They're talking
stream
about
key?
Twitch.
Like
Twitch
the
is
way that I
there.
use the YouTube
All you gotta
app
do
and the way that I
is
use like,
YouTube's,
YouTube
and
like,
all you gotta do
computer, I've
is
never
not
had a stream.
Because that's what
or
we're
like a
talking about
thing where
today.
it says, "This
Even
is
though
your
my
key."
stream's getting hijacked for the moment by these streamers.
Keep your hands
No,
to your phone.
it is not Matt from the Nick
So,
Benson
in a
show.
regular
The Nick
stream, you
Benson
use
show is
software
not canon
like,
here.
Open broadcaster
That's
software.
like an extended
It's,
universe thing, and honestly, we just really don't
Literally,
talk about it
it
as a
captures
canon of
your
this
screen
universe.
or
So,
the
you know,
video from like the
let's
camera,
try and stay in
and
canon
then
for.
send it to whatever server.
Oh no,
would-
2
that would
likes
take
but no
that video
views.
in
Honey, where'd you go?
and
I
then
missed
send
you.
it out to everybody else. So a stream key is what you would put into your software that tells it, okay, to go to this website at this address. That's where you send all the information to. So if you put it in for this certain website, that website then copies it and sends it to all the
Micronations
streaming
and
services
People
you
of Nations,
choose, whether it's
yes.
Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or like a ton of other places as well. Use a phone though. I don't know how much you make through YouTube or have previously, or how good that laptop is processor-wise. It's a Chromebook.
So Chromebook, probably
Yeah.
not.
So, so if you could get a laptop with just like a dual or quad core, then you could easily stream, as long as you're not playing video games. Because doing streaming and video games is what takes a lot of power. And then just get like a simple webcam, either built into the laptop or separate. Then you could upload it there, and then you make money from Twitch, from YouTube. I don't know if Facebook does money.
I feel like I'd feel weird streaming to YouTube and Twitch because my big thing is audience interaction, right? So it'll be like, I gotta have my Twitch chat here, I gotta have my YouTube chat here, and then
There's a thing to actually combine them.
to combine
Yeah, right? So it takes everything from each, so
Got
it
these
reads
tags.
everything from Twitch, and then puts that automatically into YouTube
Got
chat,
these
and
tags.
vice versa.
Hey, what's going
So they're all
on,
one and
guys?
the same, everybody
Thanks
sees
for
the same chat.
2
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
viewers.
Everybody sees
yeah,
it?
Right now they're
right?
talking about
Right?
some weird stuff, talking
really
about
weird.
talking about
But that's what I was
Twitch
trying to recommend
streaming.
it to you, 'cause I always
What kind of
want, like,
grossness
how people
Twitch
do
stream?
stuff. That'd be
You
a
don't
way to earn
stream
more
on
money if
Twitch.
you want.
That's non-canon. Like Nick Benson universe right now, non-canon. Right now, guys, today we're going to be talking
I don't
about.
know, I just like keep thinking about it, like, he's streaming, he's not,
Yes,
but
and you guys
Either way,
talking about
idea.
Twitch streams during my streams.
His
Yeah,
stream
this
is
is
about
becoming a
Micronations
stream
and
inception.
People.
the
That's
only
the
reason
No-
that I don't
No Twitch, no
do
Twitch.
both YouTube and Twitch is because I feel like YouTube is kind of not as popular with live stream stuff.
He's
Also,
trying to
YouTube
call it
takes a
out.
while to get
He's
over
trying
that
to-
hump of 1,000 friggin' people.
Ooh,
So
y'all call it out.
You
He's
got this.
trying.
either way, good luck.
I feel like you kill it on YouTube if you try.
Not even.
Yeah. So yes, today guys.
2 viewers and 3 likes?
Right?
That's just impossible.
It is. We defy the possible. Nani a second ago was talking about how he was thinking that was Matt.
Oh, like Mr. Hand?
Yeah, but
Gotcha.
I told him is that's non-canon for this universe. That's like an extended universe
That's
thing,
an
and we don't
alternate
really.
universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't really mess with that here.
Yo, have your live dashboard up on your screen.
Absolutely. I got you. Where
Yeah.
do I go?
Open live control room in a new tab. Like, open that in a new tab. What are you doing? So there's this magical thing called right click. Or no, or that doesn't exist.
Boop. Boop.
Well, now, I mean, are you already done doing tags? Because if so, you don't need it in a different tab. You just have it where it's set.
Boop.
I thought you were still tagging, but now you can more easily read the live chat.
We are lit. Thank you. Oh, hey Hannah.
See how you can read it?
It's Hannah.
Yo, Hannah, you're number 2?
Yeah.
Nani was number 1,
Who's number
but not in
3?
his heart.
That's true.
Nani says, so you're going to Twitch, Nick and Winslow? I'm not.
And
Max
also
is on
Nick and
Twitch.
Win.
He's cool.
Yeah,
He should
Max
be on
is-
YouTube, though.
He should.
It's just
He should.
this is a good platform.
Got
Hannah
it.
said, got him
Got you, girl.
in each other's heart.
Oh. But yeah, the thing I wanted to talk about today is
Micronations
micronations
and people.
people and micronations.
Title.
I haven't talked on the channel in a bit because I've been doing school stuff, but
And rap stuff
and rap stuff.
on
He's
the
right.
Winslow channel.
Got him.
Look it up.
Look it up. Check it out. Didn't know Micronation people could rap. Did you?
If only the
Now you do.
Micronation rap stuff was on one channel.
No,
Then you would just know that they do both.
you can't do it.
Nani said the
It
player
doesn't
Nick.
exist.
The
Nani
player.
can't.
How am I a player?
Right.
That's what he said. He said the player Nick.
Player Nick, enter his game.
Do. Level up. Always.
But so, I've really been wanting to talk on the channel for a minute about the things that I've seen during my hiatus. And a lot of it has been, I know we've talked about this a little bit before, where people will like hit me up and be like, yo, let's do an alliance thing. And I want to end up getting into that, but I know I don't for the time being because there's not a lot of people who can really give like an economic or like physical contribution in any way because of distance, and they couldn't give an economic contribution a lot of the time because micronations are really small and don't have a lot started up themselves, so they think like, oh, if I just like put myself allied or like in like name association with this other group, then it'll like make me stronger or like make more things happen, and I just don't necessarily agree with that.
What about a cultural contribution, which then become an economic contribution? Also, I don't have a different girl every month. Thank you, Nani. I'm dedicated to Danica, DD, J and D, D and J, DJ. That actually is a cute ass name.
Ooh.
The bank from the club, the Michael Jackson bank, legendary.
Hey, Dookie Dropper. Hey, bro, I just got home from the shower, and I'll be home soon.
You've literally posted that in another live chat before. That's a repost.
Yeah.
Do you have like a page of those? Dookie Dropper, where you keep them and you copy and paste?
He double saves, but that's not canon.
Double saves? What does that mean?
We keep canon.
We keep kin.
Yes. So, what do you mean a cultural? What do you mean cultural?
You could ally with a micronation and they could give you stuff like, here's our mythology, or here's the ideas of our religion or our philosophy. And you collect like all those ideas into a book that you can then like publish and then sell for profit for either yours or both of your micronations. Cultural offerings, I feel like, are a big deal because culture is something that can be directly translated into economic profit.
Very true, but there also has to be development to that. So a big thing that I'm a proponent of that I think is very different to the way that a lot of people do micronations is micro-nationalism is kind of the more the merrier thing. In the sense that it's like, oh, if you like are interested in micronationalism, just make your own. Just make your own nation. I don't like the idea of that because I feel like my idea of micronations is the idea that they not become micro anymore. Like they try and grow into like full sustained legitimate nations. So at the point of trying to develop like that and trying to develop like that as quick as possible, when people are interested in micronationalism, I think the first thing they should do before starting their own would be to go to another. And if it's really just this baseline of starting out and designing this culture and that being kind of where things stay for a while, I don't think it helps much of anyone because then you have a lot of these nations who are kind of doing the same thing and nobody ever able to gain
Like to actually grow.
Right.
Two things. One, your screen that has the chat blacked out.
It sure did.
Anyone ever like given you the criticism or critiqued you on like, did you join like another micronation for an extended period before you decided creating your own, or try to like boost someone else's micronation while you were a part of it and try to like grow that before you did this? I'd like to hear more about that. I feel like your audience would too, like to give your experiences about it and what made you decide to go from being a member of someone else's micronation that you didn't start but someone else started. Not like a collaborative thing where you and another person started one. The one solely started by another person that you were a part of for an extended period. What made you decide to, after being a part of that for a while, to break off from that and to start your own thing? And also, what is your relation like with that micronation now? Did it like dissolve and that's why you created your own, or do you just not fuck with them? Like what happened?
So, a couple. One that was okay. So I'll start, I guess, from the beginning. When I started at UAH, I was really interested in micronations for a long time before I got into college. Once I got into college, I really wanted to try and pursue it and to see if I could make my own, because I was always worried about what I kind of see of like everybody having one and it not really going anywhere, kind of just being online. But I didn't just want to start one of my own. I was like, I want it to be something that actually gains people. So I ended up saying, okay, well, I know how I would make one, but I'm going to set that aside. I want to try and develop one with someone else. So it's not like my thing. It's a micronation that I become a part of and like help to grow. So that's what I ended up doing. Me and Max, who's my roommate here, we ended up trying to start one called Veriditas. And growing that and working on that, we ended up having, the way that it was going to work is like 5 people who ended up being officers for a club we started on campus by the same name, who would all unanimously vote on decisions.
I have a quick question about Veritas.
Yeah.
So it sounds like the plan was, I'm gonna get somebody else to like start one up and then help them build it. But I feel like what you're proposing to people is very different. Like what you're proposing to people is like, find a pre-existing micronation.
Right. And there's like more to this.
Okay.
So we ended up trying to start that out. I quickly found that I was someone who had the most interest in it. People who I had gotten to be a part of it. Max had a high amount of interest in the beginning and the design and the development of it. But he didn't have a lot of time he wanted to invest in it, and it seemed like that was the way that a lot of other people felt as well. Once we got into doing meetings and setting up projects and things like that, we had everything set up to where the next semester we would start in big, we'd start with Week of Welcome and develop things. So we had a lot planned, and then we took a summer break, and then we were going to come back to starting in the fall. So once we tried to start that back up, I tried to contact everybody during the summer, tried to get contact with everybody starting that fall, and things kind of fell apart. It didn't really last very long, and through those projects and through those things that we tried to get back together and to start having more meetings about, one by one people kind of fell off and just didn't really want to pursue it anymore. So that ended up being something where I realized, hey, I was somebody who was really big into this, and wanted to see it through, but I think it was my interest in it that was the thing that was really there, but I didn't have other people who were nearly as passionate as interested in it. So that was something that I wasn't careful enough, and I didn't have the most creative way of helping or trying to resolve, so it just fell apart. After that, I took a long time before I actually started another micronation. I ended up actually joining one online. It was called Zarnia, and the idea behind it was essentially this guy online. He wanted to develop this. It was like a hyper-democratic type of thing. It was really interesting. Essentially, you would go on the website for the micronation. Thank you. And you would vote on different things. And I did that for like a year, where essentially you would go onto it, and it was almost like a Discord. Like it was essentially these different like chats that would be set up with different ideas, different votes that would go on, and they would open and close a certain time restriction. So you go in and you vote and you talk to people. And I did that for like a year. And the idea was essentially nobody's like really in like an administrative position besides the person who like administrates the website. and you just vote and you try and develop things for it, and like you can like create your own thing to like try and get votes. And then if it got enough, like it would become a part of the culture and the community. And Zarnia ended up being something that I really enjoyed and appreciated about the cultural aspects of micronationalism and about having like quite a few people. Because at a time there would probably be like 15 people on the website. I don't know how many there were in total, but I think there were quite a few actual members of it. The problem ended up becoming that I felt like it was what I'd seen kind of on the internet. A lot of the things before I actually got into micronationalism and starting Veritas was that it had been a thing where I've seen like I'm trying to think of what it's called now. Malaysia and other places like that, that were essentially these older groups that had started up and had done stuff online, and then like the online presence kind of died down.
Have a wonderful night.
Good night.
Thank you for tuning in, Hannah.
Good night.
How about you?
I will be. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey.
Ooh, yeah, Valentine's Day coming around the corner.
Yeah.
Okay, Malaysia.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't be right because it's just a real place. Thank you.
Malacca. So essentially, that's like one of our famous micronations. But the whole thing is a lot of micronations, especially the more famous ones, essentially would have come online, stayed around for a few years, and then just kind of like fallen off. And a lot of it was this like cultural thing. So once that had developed for long enough, it ended up just sort of, it ended up becoming a frustration for me. So when I started Veritas, I wanted it to be something that had like real people and was constantly trying to grow its membership and trying to grow everything. So it didn't get scale for anybody, and we weren't worried about losing people. That ended up not working very well because we just didn't have enough passion behind the project. Getting into Zarnia, it was something where there were people who were in it for a long time, and I was, relative to my interest, I felt like in it for a long time. The problem ended up being that it just didn't feel like there was real developments going on. You would vote on things, and it may like change something like a formula about like the history, or change something about the like cuisine or whatever, but a lot of it just ended up feeling like it was like a role play type of thing. And I didn't really enjoy that. It just felt like a role play and like a forum. So I wanted to start this to shed a new specific face to it. And I think that's part of, in starting the channel, why I started to do like micronation how-to type videos, because I'd seen some where it's like, this is how you make a flag, and this is how you make currency, and this is how you like make a constitution, and like a declaration of independence. But I didn't see things on like, here's how you actually attempt to start an economy, or like, here's how you like attempt to start setting up a culture. Here's how, like in general, like founding ideas for a culture. Doing things like that. Here's how you like start talking to people about it. I wanted to essentially start leading by example in that sense, and trying to do as much as I could to push out slowly but surely into the world and get people interested in it that way. But that's the reason that I say that, I guess. If there are micronations out there where B2 microwave. What?
We're talking about micronations.
Yeah.
He said microwave.
Ooh. Micrograde. But yeah, so I feel like my thoughts on it are, if you can find a micronation that fits your interests, definitely. Ooh, are you okay?
You said Nick looks depressed. Is he okay?
Are you okay?
I'm mainly just thinking. I have like responses.
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. So my whole idea is, if you find a micronation online that piques your interest, because I've seen on the Discord a lot my micronation's like insert other micronation, but this thing is slightly different. If you find a micronation that you like and you feel like you can make changes to it, try and make changes by like joining it and making a difference in it. But I don't like everybody just splintering off, because I think people go into stages with it. Like, they make their own micronation and they realize not much is going on besides like talks online. So then they're like, what'll really help is like starting a micronational UN thing, and they do that, but it's still just like the same like sub-level. So it's just making levels and levels and levels. So the whole idea is, if more people join individual micronations instead of more micronations forming, then each individual micronation becomes stronger and more well adaptable to the future, and also for their own survival, but also can potentially have more people who want to push it into the mainstream.
So some of my responses
Yes.
are, for Zarnia, when you left, did you, before leaving, go like, hey, I feel like we could do more, we should try and make changes, try and make it better? Because the big thing that you're pushing is join a micronation instead of making your own to start off with,
Yeah.
but don't just join one, try to like develop it and
Yeah.
make it better. Like, before you left Zarnia, did you take steps like that? And if so, what were the steps that you took, and what was the straw that broke the camel's back to make you leave and then start your own?
So a big thing about Zarnia was they did not want to have any government. Like, they wanted to have like the person who administrated the site, but even they weren't supposed to have specific powers besides just like site administration things, taking people or whatever. And like observing, but the main point of it was to not have a structured like setup. So one of the big things I wanted to do was to like organize people in real life, and to maybe like have events, or to try to get like little action committees together to do things in person, in real life. So I voted on having like a type of group set up, or a type of like government started, so that people in real life could get together and start doing things. And essentially people in there, my things got downvoted first off, and secondly, people on there told me basically just, we don't like it and we don't want that, because that's not what this is supposed to be about. Its whole point is supposed to be about us voting and sharing common interests on this website, and that's the thing.
Were they more against the idea of doing things in real life, or were they more against the idea of changing the entire system of the government to have more structure?
But it seemed like what they were saying was, in my opinion, it seems like what they were saying was the reason that they didn't like changing, the reason that they didn't like changing and forming any sort of group, whether it be a government or whether it be like a group in real life of any sort, is because it changes the meaning of what they're trying to do, which is just supposed to be strictly on the website. Like, the way that they felt about it, from what I understood, is that if you have everybody on this website, everybody can be in one location relatively, and everybody can interact, and anybody who's interested can go to the site and see more about it. But if you have any like groups popping up in real life trying to do things, then it makes one group seem to have like influence and like sort of representative power of these people, when that's not necessarily the case. You're not supposed to like have any specific like representatives.
It sounds almost like you're trying to say they don't like the idea of political parties existing within the system. Because essentially what would have happened is, with the real life group meeting up and you guys talking about different points and maybe coming to like an agreement, is that then you could take that to the site, and then you could like all just kind of vote for the same thing when the votes come up, and then it would show like your heightened influence over an independent party who may just be on the website, but I feel like there's nothing built into like the website system itself to prevent people from doing that, like already. Like
The
if
only
you
thing is
didn't,
like the administrator kicking people. Yeah.
but I mean, would he have kicked, like if you were to have done it without like saying, is it okay if I do, like if you were just like, hey, friends, I'm like a member of this micronation named Zarnia. And on Zarnia, there'll be different polls where you vote for changes that you want to make to the micronation. And I was wondering if you guys wanted to join Zarnia with me. We could have like a club, and we could like talk about the different polls that come up, and we could see what we agree on, what we disagree on, and kind of like talk it out. And it would just be like a fun way for us to all participate in this micronation and help it grow. But we would meet in person, and it'd be more of a discussion that you had with those people in real life, and not as much of a discussion that you have with the people on the website. Having it with the people on the website almost just feels counterintuitive, because it's not like they're gonna be like, damn, I gotta get on a Greyhound bus or like jump on a plane so I can like meet you in person. I get the idea of maybe saying, what if you guys also did this and we had multiple real life groups? But I feel like if you just went ahead and did your own real life group, even after everybody was like, no, I don't fuck with it, and then just did it anyways, there'd be little to no way for them to detect it. Like for Zarnia to be like, he knows these niggas in real life. You know, it just seems odd. So one question I have is, why is it that even though everyone was like, nah, we don't like it, nah, we don't fuck with it, that you didn't like put your foot down and just do it anyways, and then just not tell the online Zarnia community, but have your own local real life Zarnia community anyways?
So that's definitely a good point. I guess at the time, I felt like I didn't want, if like enough people were downvoting my stuff, and like people who were on there regularly with me would like actively say, no, that's not like what I want to do. That's not what our interests are. Please don't do that. I wouldn't want to like specifically go around them and like cultivate people who agree with my ideology, because then I feel like I would be like influencing and trying to change the site for my own specific purposes. So I feel like at that point I'd just be fighting it so hard that I'm trying to turn it into something else.
I feel like when it comes to like politics in that way,
Yeah.
you are essentially trying to do that. You know what I mean? Also, Nani said, so basically they die from evil.
Yes, almost.
So the ideas that you had were already, it's weird to say, but we're talking about micronations, so I feel like it's appropriate, like revolutionary. Like the concept is the status quo you're not satisfied with in a big way. Like you're like, this government needs more structure. And it makes sense that you wanting to change a huge part of the government and how it worked would be something that other people didn't fuck with.
Right.
That being said, that doesn't mean that now, oh, I have to change my ideas. Like you could have just stuck with that and been like, I don't think any less of my fellow citizens or their opinions. It's just that hasn't changed my views, and I still want to help my like nation grow, and I feel like this is a good idea to do it. And due to the lack of structure that the government has, they really don't have a say. You like did that almost like a courtesy, but it was an unnecessary courtesy.
Mm-hmm.
You still just could have went on and did it.
You're right. And I guess, I don't know, that might be part of the reason that now I'm trying to advocate for people to like try and affect micronations more. Because, yeah, I feel like if that would have been the case, maybe things would be better now. Maybe there'd be like little pocket community with Zarnia working and like growing together. But I don't know.
Because I do feel like that is one of the biggest things that I would say as like a critique back to you from an outside point of view.
Yeah.
I would be like, you preach to practice this, but you're clearly like running your own micronation and not like an active member of another one. I think another critique I would do, and by the way, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm not like trying to shit on you or anything.
Yeah.
Nani said Nick becomes the king of micronations.
Got it.
I feel like one thing that another person, or maybe the same hypothetical person, could get onto you about is for the micronations that you're allied with currently, what do you currently do to try and like help develop those nations, or to like help build them, or to be like a big part of like trying to develop them further, other than like the symbolic, hey, we're allied, we're like friends, and like the promotion of them to other people through your channel? Because I'm not saying that's not helpful to help like build their citizenship, but I do feel like a lot of times you talk about how like micronations need to grow economically, micronations need to like do this and that to not be micro anymore. What do you do for your allies currently to help make them less micro, other than what you just already do on the channel, bringing awareness and having the informational videos?
Absolutely. So that's one of the biggest things that I've worked with the People's Republic of Parkistopia on. We both agreed that when we became allies, we wanted to do like real projects with each other, and we wanted to start things up and keep development with each other on real concepts and goals. So one of the first things, other than like having joint like YouTube videos and promoting each other's channels and doing things like that, other things that we do, we have had essentially where we bought things from each other, tried to help each other's currencies a little bit. So I've bought, there was one point on the YouTube channel at the beginning, during last summer I think it was, when I was back home, that I ended up buying plastic bottles from him. His family gathered together a lot of plastic bottles and just saved them up over time, and they would put them in these big bags. So essentially they would manufacture these floats for me, and I was building a raft, so that I could start doing like a little naval thing. So he would sell me these bottles for pretty cheap, just because it was like just a waste thing for them. So they would sell me these bottles, and then I was trying to construct this raft. So essentially the idea being that if one of our nations wants to start a big project, that they could use the resources of the other nation to help accomplish that quicker, and also to help fund the other nation a little bit. So that is and then as well, they're primarily agricultural. So I was going to help them. We didn't end up being able to do this. I know they're still doing agriculture stuff, but we had planned at one point potentially to help set up like a watering system or something for their garden. Because I do like the technical stuff, maybe do like a timed watering system. But the one of the more constant parts of our alliance has been trying to keep up with each other and discussing the issues that we have within our micronations. So essentially saying, hey, this is what's going on in my micronation, like full disclosure, like here's everything that goes on. Here's what my goals are. These are the things I'm worried about. How have you encountered these things before? How do you help with that? And I feel like that's kind of been an extension of the channel as well, and what I've tried to do myself and like sharing that. The biggest cultural thing out of that that's come up is because the People's Republic of Parkistopia has quite a few in-person members, people who are local to the area that actually contribute. They have I forget what the name of it is now, but it's essentially a meeting of their citizens. I'm not sure if it's annually or monthly, but I think it's annually or biannually, where they come together and they discuss what's going on, and they vote on things. They have like referendums and stuff. And I was invited to one of those, but they ended up changing the time, so I ended up getting to make it. I was going to this past the Christmas break, but I ended up not being able to. So that was something that I really felt like was a big like milestone between our two, to have like foreign diplomat come and be a part of that.
I feel like the biggest thing you offered was doing the currency valuing and getting a direct resource from another nation.
Oh, I have one more thing. My apologies. When you brought that up, so in talking about trying to get those economic benefits in there, a big part of that was essentially because we were so close to each other, trying to be like the two micronations in the area. If other people decided to start them, they absolutely could, and because of the close proximity, I'm sure we would try and develop with them and create economic pacts and things like that, like we did with each other. But the big idea of it was essentially to start to jointly like develop in the area, because it would be harder, it would be easier to accomplish bigger goals if we wanted to spread together, supporting each other. It would be, well, I don't know, talk to local businesses and things like that, try and get support, try to figure out if there's anything, any like trade deals or anything we could make with them, so like buy things and manufacture things, so anything they might want in their stores.
Have you like gone that extra mile to like try and establish, or have you established any trade deals with any local businesses in that area in order to like try and like bolster your micronations?
Not yet. We've had that in development. One of the biggest things I know for his nation, which we had talked about, was trying to go to farmers markets and things like that because of their agricultural part.
And I would say, as I was saying before, the biggest thing you've done is the currency and resource exchange, because it gives value to both currencies in a way. Well, not in a way, it just does. Like that's just how like currency exchange works. But I do feel like that's the biggest impact that you've had like on another nation outside of the YouTube channel and just promoting directly and giving out information. One thing that I would like to see, there's another playing devil's advocate, being like an outsider looking in. A big thing that you talk about is like building yourself economically and more or less monetizing your micronation, making it something that can produce profit so that you can use that profit to further grow your micronation in more ways than one. I think a big thing I would get onto you as an outsider is like, what have you done for your micronation to monetize it, to create like a source of income that you can continually build to build on like a stable economy? I feel like the outsider would pat you on the back for what you've done with Parkstopia and doing a currency exchange, but I think they would then go further and say that's not like a stable income. It's not even really an income. You gained resources, but you didn't gain like monetary wealth that you can then use to continue to grow. So I feel like an outsider would be like, what are you doing right now for monetary stability?
One of the things, when we started the Discord, one of the parts of the Discord that's still there right now is what we call the imperial market. And the whole point of that is essentially citizens can create trade lists, and essentially it's what they can do and what they can make, and then people can pick from those and talk to them about pricing and things like that, and actually make an income from that, buying and selling things to each other. And that's something that I ended up starting with actually sewing. A couple of people who actually run other micronations on the Discord have approached me about one, the sewing, because there's a girl, Chloe of Gaia, I think, Gaia. She approached me about making her flag, and making a flag and making a cape with her flag on it as well. And so I've had that in development. Hey, ooh, thank you. So that's been a big thing. Hey, what's up? So that's been a big thing. And then as well, trying to, there was one other person who approached me about trying to buy something, and it was for electronic parts. But it seemed to be someone who was younger, who was interested in trying to do do like science stuff and wanted to buy microwave oven transformers from me.
And
I
you
didn't
feel like it was too dangerous.
Yeah, they were talking about like, oh, no, like I'm just gonna do it. I know what I'm doing, and I was like, I don't, like I just started talking them through like, what are you gonna do with it? And they just couldn't tell me. So I was like, I'm not just gonna give you.
Microwave transformers.
Yeah,
Did you sew and sell the flag to Chloe from Gaia?
not yet.
Not yet, so that's something in part. I do feel like that is a big thing. That if I was an outsider looking and doing
You'd be
that,
like, you should do that.
well, I'd be like, then it's not enough. Yeah, like to just like say that things are on the table
Like
or
if
that
you
I
haven't
have
done it.
ideas. Yeah,
Right.
then it's like preaching without practice. Because I do feel like that would be the biggest critique I would have
Mhm.
as an outsider. Would be like, you say do this and this and that, but when we get in the nitty gritty, you think about doing those things yourself
But you-
and you preach to other people to do it, but you haven't done a lot of it yourself.
Mhm.
I do feel like there are a lot of things that I am surprised that you don't necessarily do, like putting your flag on merch and just like having like online storefronts that are like, here's my flag on all of this merch, because it's very easy to take like a design that you have on your computer, go to something like Zazzle, and Zazzle's fucking crazy. Zazzle will do stuff like, do you have one design?
We'll put it on.
We'll put it on,
anything.
yeah, literally everything that exists.
Yeah.
You want Xbox 360 controllers with the Empire of Eternia flag on them? We got them. Baby bibs? We got them. Wrapping paper? We got them. You know, just stuff like that. And I feel like it would take you little to no time, and it would be like, someone comes up, what are you doing to bolster your economy for your micronation? And you're like, we have a selection of multiple different outfits and like things like that you could like put around your home with the Empire of Eternia flag. Show your support, show your citizenship. Come by our Zazzle store, you know, if you want to. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
If you were like, hey, I got a link, click this link in the description box below. We got a PayPal where you can donate to help build up the micronation. We accept donations.
Yeah.
Truly appreciate it, guys. You know, there are so many ways to monetize. Hey, you've seen my videos on YouTube. But do you want to have a reference book that you can carry around? I wrote out my notes and ideas on how to build a micronation, and I published it in a book. Did you know that Kindle Direct Publishing's free? But what are you going to put on the cover? Your flag. So, you know, like, there are just so many ways for you to just, like, monetize it and make money, and then it takes, like, no time. Like, legitimately. If you already have a bunch of notes written out, if you already have the flag graphic, which you do, you know, you can just start putting it on things, just selling stuff. And the best part about it is that because you already have the YouTube channel and an audience for it, it wouldn't be like, I have all these flag t-shirts that I didn't have to buy because I don't have to buy them myself, but when people buy them, I make money and it took 3 seconds to make it. Who's gonna buy it? You know, like you have a market, and it just makes sense. Nani said, yes, Nick, yes, because it just makes sense. I feel like those are like the first few things I would probably do, and then people can't tell you shit. It'll be like, so what are you doing to make money for your nation? How is your nation growing? And it's like, I'm building our culture and at the same time being profited for it. Oh wow, that's great. Well, but what do you do with that profit, you greedy son of a bitch? I use it in order to help further the nation and work on like bigger projects. And you can see videos where I'm like, thanks guys for like your donations and for purchasing the shirts. I'm now using that money to work on like the next big project to gain more money for the nation. Whether that's like another like cultural project or like development. And I really do feel like for micronations, the best place to start is culture, because culture is one of the easiest things to turn into direct profit for your nation to then eventually build into bigger things. And the bigger things could still just be more culture. Like, I don't know why culture is seen as like a, all you're doing is this, that, and the other. I feel like the only reason why people feel that way about micronations is because, oh, I was telling you because you're screaming blood. Feel that way about micronations is because they're not monetizing it. I feel like those same nations that you go up to and it's like, everything you do just seems like it's for flavor and it's not really building on anything. If they were like, I made a significant amount of money today because people showing their support for the nation have been like purchasing things and donating, and then we've been putting that back in to work on bigger projects. You'd be like, wow, that's just smart. And yeah, so I just feel like that's something that you should do, and people wouldn't be able to be like, you're not doing anything and you don't practice what you preach. People would be like, wow, you're actually making any form of progress in developing yourself economically, and it's something that can continually build over time. Did you drop one book on like the philosophy of like the Empire of Aeternia? That's cool. Did you drop another that's like a how-to book? Did you drop a collection of Aeternian poems? Did you drop like there's just, you can just keep doing stuff, and as long as you use the Empire of Aeternia as the brand for the stuff that you're selling, more or less, then you just continually bring awareness to your nation, as well as additional funds to your nation, and you're growing your economy, and you're able to, through that additional awareness, gain additional citizenship. It's just so much you get out of like so little you put in.
Look at Jet coming here with these good pitches.
But I've talked about this on multiple videos. I'm just saying, this isn't the first time I brought this up. It just makes sense.
You're right. Better be expecting it soon.
Yes.
Give me these books.
Yes, those books and those t-shirts. The shirt thing is so easy.
And the Zazzle.
Yeah,
please
make
on Zazzle.
Empire of Aeternia.
Three. People are like Nick's.
Because you need.
Nick's having good ideas.
You need that Zazzle for real. So I want you to get on Kindle Direct Publishing, Zazzle. Say hello to that person in the live chat, please.
Hey, Cartoons Best Moments. How are you?
Welcome to the stream. Good to have you. Please start monetizing your nation. That's not just to you. That's like to literally everyone. Everyone. Because if you want to build a micronation and you want to have like legitimate growth, it's a good idea for you to start monetizing your nation. It just actually makes you money that you can then use to grow further. One thing that you could do is start valuing your nation to the USD through sales of like your cultural products.
Oh, we already do that.
On a larger scale. Through Zazzle and Kindle Direct Publishing. And then once your YouTube channel grows to a certain amount, you can also get that through just the direct monetization of your videos. Because it is a sharing of like the Empire of Aeternia's culture. Let's see. Cartoons Best Moment says, what's Nick's Nation? I don't run a micronation, but I do have a YouTube channel, nickabenson, nickabenson. I'm going to do a live stream in not 8 minutes exactly, but around 8 minutes or so. I'm going to dip from here, and then I'm going to do my vlog stream that I do around midnight.
12 minutes.
8 minutes.
12 minutes.
You got 8 minutes left before it's an hour. That way I have time to get back and like start up my thing like around midnight.
Okay. That's great. Okay. I guess Nick's Nation is the USA.
True. I'm going to be working for the government. But yeah, good idea. Don't know why. That was interesting.
They give props to you.
Yeah, they give props to you for the other thing. Cartoons ask, how big is Aeternia? That's an interesting question. Do you mind if I answer?
It depends on how you're going to answer. Because I was going to say it really depends on what you mean.
Okay, that's fair. My answer is going to be similar to what you pitched about, like, it's the ground under the feet of, like, every Aeternian. Yeah, and it's really based off of population, because the number of people in it increases the amount of territory, because the territory is defined by, like, the immediate space around, like, each member of Aeternia. Yeah, so it's complicated and interestingly defined.
Yes.
And also heavily separated.
Yes.
Depending on the
Where
location of each member of Aeternia.
But that would be the coolest thing about it, I think, is if you have like meetings and people become more and more active at the meetings, it becomes bigger and bigger, and you just have larger and larger territory.
Right, within that space.
Yeah.
Also, I noticed we have 4 viewers and 3 likes. Can we get this video to 4 viewers and 4 likes for that 1-to-1 direct ratio? Someone was like, if I stop watching 1-to-1 direct ratio, you just get it.
Can we have 3 viewers and 1 million likes? Come on, let's get it. Let's go ahead.
And possible ratios coming in.
We had it earlier.
True.
can happen again.
What am I thinking about? I think I've given my big pitch on monetization because I really feel like if you were making money for your nation like all the time, I feel like people would see you as like more credible. They'd see your nation as like truly growing and truly like becoming better. You could do more not only for your nation but for other nations if you had more of an economic backing. There are just a lot of things to help you out. You have a Patreon for like your micronation and like how you want to like develop it and have tiers that directly like help out people who consider themselves like citizens of your nation. Like, thank you for showing support. Here's something that you get in return. You know, I feel like a Patreon would make a lot of sense. Kindle Direct Publishing for publishing books, a Zazzle store for like Empire of Eternia merchandising, and please, 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 please start doing open submissions of culture from other nations with permission to be able to monetize it. Be like submit like your nation's flags and those elements of culture that we can then take and like further monetize because it'll help make money for my nation but also help bring awareness to your nation and it helps us all grow.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does. It makes too much sense.
So it makes too much sense that it turns into dollars. So
Oh, that was actually a really good bar.
Thank
Cartoon said, does it own any outdoor territory?
Well,
if people are outdoors,
yeah.
who are citizens.
And if outdoor territory means indoors, then yeah. But yeah, I feel like I completely agree with you. You have heard it here first, everybody. 3 likes, 3 views, 4 likes.
Yeah, we hit it.
Yeah, you've heard it here first, everybody. Gonna start doing open submissions for things we can publish, things we can express about your nation and your nation's interests. We are going to do an official announcement of this, but you've heard it here first, straight from the mouth of nickabenson.
Check out my channel. Gonna
Yeah.
do a vlog
Yeah.
very soon. nickabenson. That's the channel.
Got it.
Yeah.
But no, I think those are great ideas. Let me ask you this. How, because of the wide variety in those avenues, and your experience in particular with all of those things,
Right.
how frequent and how
I feel like the answer to your question is marketing, but you haven't finished your question, so I don't know.
not marketing, essentially, how frequent do you think visits and hits to those sorts of things are upon initial start?
Marketing. That actually is the answer to the question. So my Zazzle store is something that I don't like advertise very hard because of the fact that it's mainly images of sharks on top of images of honey put on a whole bunch of different
Honey
random
shark.
products. Honey shark.
Honey shark.
That's the name of the Zazzle shop. I made it like a few years ago, more or less just for shits and giggles.
And now it's a shark in honey. It's bathing.
But people do buy honey shark stuff, but a lot more people would buy honey shark stuff if I actually promoted it, like if I actually marketed it.
You just did, honey shark.
And you have like a real platform, an audience of people who are all gathered together for Empire of Eternia to help like support it, who I feel like would be more than happy to help support you through hitting up your Zazzle store, through buying those books, through supporting your Patreon, through donating, through offering their culture for it to be monetized to help bring awareness not only to Aeternia, but to their respective micronations. And because you have this audience, it is very easy for you to begin marketing those things and making additional profit from them. Screen goes black. I don't know what your screensaver timer is, but it's awful. It goes black all the time.
Cartoon having government officials. Cartoon's best moments. Yes, we do. As of right now, it is an autocracy. So it's me. I'm the government official as of right now because we don't have a lot of citizens in one place right now and because we haven't developed very far into a larger population, especially a dense population in the area. we don't need it. Because right now I'm doing the YouTube channel and because I'm running things day to day, it's me. So what I say goes, and we're developing along. Hopefully, once we can start getting like a headquarters set up, and once we can start getting a lot of citizens being mobile in different projects, that's when we'll need to sort of disperse the work out. That's when we'll really need those government officials. But that's a good question. Thank you. And it looks like Nick is packing up, which means it's the favorite time of doing everything and ending the stream. I hope you've gotten some good advice here today. I know I certainly have. Thank you.
No problem.
Definitely go check out Nick's channel.
NICKABENSON.
He's always plugging. He's always doing that marketing. But yeah, I really hope you guys have enjoyed and have learned a little bit about me and about my history in micronationalism, and also about what we plan to do in the future, because these are some great ideas, and you better take advantage of them, because I know I am. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you, Nick, for being here.
Nick or
in the Empire of Aeternia. I got him. He's a part of it. I got him. He's a part of the Empire of Aeternia. I got him.
We're doing a vlog like super soon.
Yep. Okay. Bye, guys. See you next time on the Empire of Aeternia.
I'm taking
Bye, guys.
all this trash from Sonic and I'm dipping.